Yo, yo, yo. What is up, guys? Hope everybody's doing good. What is up? Let me know in the chat if you can hear me loud and clear. Hope everybody's doing well. Everything should be working as normal. What is up? What is up? What is up? How's the audio doing, guys? Audio all good? Good to see you all again. Hey, Messi. What's up? What's up? Okay, fantastic. Well, glad to hear that you guys can hear me properly. Good to be back here on the stream. Gonna go through a few pairs as the markets are looking nice. Dollar is obviously pulling back nicely as well, and that provides us with some future opportunities. You sound tired. Yeah, I am. Still a little bit sick, guys. Still a little bit sick, but it is what it is. We have nothing obviously to miss, or we can't miss anything because the markets are moving. So we have to show up every single day, man. We have to show up every single day. So yeah, do you guys want some background music as well, by the way? Then I'll just turn on the jazz music that we had last time. If you guys don't care, then let me know as well. What do you think is better, swing or day trading? Obviously swing trading. A lot more simple than trading the lower time frame. A lot more peace of mind, and also a lot more realistic to become a successful long-term trader, guys. I don't care. No music. Okay, fantastic. Then we don't do any music, guys. Now, before we dive in, make sure to leave a like on the stream. I'm just going to share the link as well inside the Discord server. By the way, if you're not in yet, make sure to join. You can join through the pinned link here in the chat. Okay, fantastic. So that is done. Why don't you trade with futures prop firms? Because I like to swing trade more. Okay, guys. So we're gonna start off by diving into the dollar, which has seen an overall downside push after, if I'm not mistaken, some ADP news came out. So this is just some news on unemployment, or on employment, excuse me, came in negative at minus 11,250K. So need to keep an eye on that. That has caused this temporary dump here on the dollar in towards the lows, and should, if I'm not mistaken, given gold a boost. Yeah, slightly. Not really that significant. Small 1 hour candle. Now, yeah, with the dollar making obviously this pullback in towards the downside, this is in line with what we were looking for. Now, obviously, we've been capitalizing on some very nice longs over recent weeks/months, where we were able to capitalize on this push up, and then also this second massive push in towards the upside. Now, for myself, currently the dollar is not in a position to really trade it, besides, or despite, or let's say unless you're looking for an overall retracement. Obviously, the dollar has been retracing from this overall high over here, which is the 1st of August high, which is the NFP high, and that caused the dollar to retrace back in towards the downside, which we well anticipated, as the dollar was trading after the break of structure line, which we have over here. Now, obviously, after that break of structure, we expect a pullback. When do we expect a pullback to happen? When we come into that major liquidity high. So now with the dollar retracing, we're currently in the overall pullback phase, which is the orange zone over here. Now, in these orange zones, we need to have patience, because we need the markets to come into a good area before looking for any further longs. Now, what I'm looking for here on the dollar index is for it to start bottoming out. So the overall shorts on the dollar have paid very, very well. Obviously here at the top, when we took out that 1st of August high, you had a very beautiful overall 4-hour change of character with the break up and then the break in towards the downside here, facilitating that overall pullback on the dollar to start happening. So again, when we look for an overall pullback within the markets, guys, there are two things that we always want to look for. We want to look for, one, the liquidity high, right? So we had that overall black line, which was the liquidity high of the 1st of August. And then number two, we need the overall shock or change of character, which came over here at the top, and that together has now provided the overall pullback. And then obviously this week, we were still expecting the dollar to pull back a little bit lower, as this supply zone here was in control together with the overall monthly open. this has now pushed the market further in towards the downside. So before you look at any longs on the dollar, meaning that you're looking for, let's say, a GBPUSD short position, because I know a lot of you were looking for a GBPUSD short from this monthly open here. Myself, I decided to completely just ignore it due to the dollar not really looking good for that further upside push yet. Now, the dollar has retraced in towards a significant area of demand with a liquidity low positioned right above it. This is a nice area to look for a potential turnaround here on the dollar index. Now, this is not yet the highest probability area, but it is one of two areas that I'm monitoring. At the moment, I'm monitoring the area that we're currently inside of, this demand zone. Now, in order then to confirm that we are ready to look for potential long, I would need to see a significant reaction tomorrow above the monthly open, retest that, and then I'll look for a further upside push. If we do not get anything from that perspective, and this supply zone here remains in control, I'll be looking for a further downside push, and I'll look for the dollar to continue pushing in towards this low of 98.564. From where, again, over there, I'll then be looking for the real overall 4-hour swing setup back in towards the upside. So those are the two setups that I currently have here for the dollar index, waiting for, again, further downside to occur from this area of supply, or we wait for the supply zone or demand zone, to push price up higher, back up above the overall monthly open, retest that, and then from there I'll be aggressively scaling into those dollar longs, and I'll then be looking for USD CAD short or USD CAD longs, So I'll be looking for USD CAD long, and I'll be looking for this long more specifically, together with then a EURUSD short position, which will come. Now, EURUSD has pushed up higher. I highlighted this morning in the market outlook that we had an internal liquidity high over here on the black line that caused somewhat of an initial push down, but this demand zone together with the monthly open remained in control, has now pushed EURUSD back in towards the upside, towards the next area of supply, from where again we can potentially in the future look for the next shorts to start playing out. Now, from this supply zone, keep an eye. You need to see obviously a, let's say, V-shaped reaction. Then on the retest of the weekly, or what will be next week, that's when you can then look for a short position. Otherwise, for now, demand still remains in control, and this demand zone can just continue pushing the market up higher, for example, towards this blue dotted line over here. So if you're currently in your USD longs, then it's still a good long to ultimately hold, as demand remains in control, and your stop loss should be positioned underneath that current demand zone. Now, again, I see a lot of questions on GBP AUD and, of course, on the Swiss pairs. Now, these are pairs that I've been talking about for quite some time. GBP AUD looks good still for further downside, whereas the pound is still extremely weak. There are several reasons why the pound is extremely weak, mainly stemming, and let me just get my notes out here because I took quite some notes today. So the main reason why the pound is so weak, and let me see if I can get my notes here on the screen for you guys, because these are some kind of like key takeaways. Let me just only keep, let's say, the overall main points so that you guys actually understand why I'm still relatively bearish on the pound here. So most importantly is that the UK budget risks keep the pound under pressure. So on November 25, we have UK budgets being announced, where it is going to be announced that there's going to be increase of taxes, and this is most likely going to cause the pound into a further slump. But furthermore, this is already why the pound has been so weak, because we've had that budget risk for the 25th of November. Together with that, we have weak growth and rising joblessness. So today, unemployment went to 6% in the UK, and the amount of wage growth was also not very significant, causing further weakness for the pound. And yeah, for the rest, inflation could delay the Bank of England cuts. This could cause some short-term bullishness, but I'm still expecting the pound to further weaken. So from a fundamental perspective, it still makes sense to look for those further short positions on the pound. And obviously here we've retested now the overall yearly open on GBP AUD, and we still have quite some ascending lows open here. So I'm still looking for that further downside push on GBP AUD. Yes, the weekly time frame, guys, is also still relatively bearish, in the sense that, what I mean with relatively bearish, that this supply zone here is still in control. So this supply zone is still in control. Yes, obviously from a weekly perspective, we are bullish from, let's say, this low in towards this high, and we have retraced exactly into the 0.5 fib. But on the weekly time frame, the overall supply, the immediate supply, still remains in control. We still have an overall supply flow pushing the market down lower and lower together with the yearly open. So based on the weekly time frame, I'm still favoring some short-term further downside. And also looking here at the daily, I like that we've retested the overall 3 monthly and the overall yearly open, and I continue to look for that further downside on GBP AUD. We've retested this supply over here to absolute perfection, and I'll be looking for more shorts from this overall area of supply. Though I must say that I'm favoring more positions on AUD CHF and an NZD CHF. Again, I see a lot of questions about these pairs as well. AUD CHF is currently situated in a downside push from the monthly/3 monthly open. Again, we have seen a clear break of market structure in towards the downside. Here we have the swing high. Here we have the swing low. The market retraced back up towards the ultimate premium pricing. We have here an internal liquidity high. So how do you identify liquidity? You look at an impulse in towards the downside, and then within that overall impulse, we identify the internal highs that we have here and here and here. Now again, the main internal high is this black line over here. And as the market then takes out that high, we waited for the market structure to shift, which happened here and then here in towards the downside. And then again, another market structure shift here in towards the downside. So we've now seen a double market structure break in towards the lows, confirming for me the bearish trend. And again, you should now be in shorts if you were looking at this pair, because if we look here at the 4-hour time frame and you say, hey, here we have the 4-hour break of structure, that would then mean that this is the overall impulse in towards downside, and that this here is your internal liquidity high. You then look, hey, this is my overall swing. We retrace into premium pricing. We take out the internal liquidity high right over here. And then once we take out the internal liquidity high, we retrace into what? We retrace into this area of consolidation together with the monthly and the 3 monthly open. And then what happened? You get the overall 1-hour change of character here. And then here in towards the downside, you form an area of supply over here. And then from there, you should be in a short position. So don't tell me that you, or ask if you should still get it into shorts, because obviously the overall short position, and you could also place your stop loss here. This wick wouldn't be a stop loss because this is the rollover candle at 11 o'clock. So on Swiss pairs, you should always remove your stop loss at 11 o'clock. And you would be up quite a few percent, so around 1.9%, maybe 2% if you place your stop loss a little bit tighter. So overall, a very nice position here on AUD CHF, and it should continue to push down lower, obviously, as we now expect that the next impulsive phase is now begun here on AUD CHF, back in towards the downside, and the overall pullback phase is now over. So now obviously on the dollar index, we're currently in the pullback phase, and for AUD CHF, we are in the pullback phase, and everything from the monthly/3 monthly open, that is ultimately where we expect then the market to potentially head down lower from. Now this is the same for an NZD CHF. Now NZD CHF was a lot cleaner than AUD CHF. Guys, you're asking me about GU. I already discussed GU. GU is not of interest at the moment. Because the dollar index is not ready yet, so it still has potential to push up higher GBPUSD. Now, NZD CHF, extremely bearish. I mean, this is the clearest downtrend in the downtrend of downtrends, whatever you want to fucking call it. We had a break of structure here in towards the downside. We had another break of structure here in towards the downside. And we had another break of structure here in towards the downside. So a clear bearish trend. We look at the 4-hour time frame. On the 4-hour time frame as well, a very clear bearish overall trend. Now, with that daily break of structure that took place over here on the black line, ultimately, again, we have an impulse in towards the downside here. Now, within that overall impulse, we identified that this here is our swing high, and down over here, we have our swing low. You then draw in your Fibonacci retracement tool. We see, hey, the market has retraced into the gray zone, which is premium pricing. The market then within that overall impulse has taken out one of the main liquidity highs. That liquidity high aligned beautifully with the 3 monthly open. Again, the 3 monthly open, guys. And then from there, what do we get? We get the overall market structure shift in towards the downside. So this internal trend here, what happens to it? It gets broken. So let's say you didn't have the balls to execute here at the 3 monthly open. Wait for the overall order flow shift for this demand zone to fill. That then failed. So this demand zone here failed, right? It's tried to create a new higher high. It failed to do so. Therefore, it became supply when it then broke this overall demand zone. And then you should have been in on that overall supply zone with stop loss above the highs. And obviously, guys, people keep asking me, what about NZD CHF? Of course, that thing should fucking sell into the ground. It's no fucking rocket science. It's literally a trend. Lower lows, lower highs, as simple as that. Really, it's really as simple as that. You just need to have the faith and confidence in your strategy. So this should then be a setup if you didn't already take, obviously, the first setup over here. And then what are we now inside of? We're now again inside of the overall impulsive phase. So inside of this impulsive phase, we're looking for more short positions. So how do we then analyze those short positions? Well, here we have a break of structure. Then again, here we have a break of structure in towards the downside. So when you then look at the current internal 4-hour trend, this here is a swing high in towards the swing low. Again, market retraces exactly in towards the 0.5 fib. Go to the 1-hour time frame. What do we do on the 1-hour time frame? We identify the exact same thing that I identified on the 4-hour. We have the overall impulse in towards the downside. So what do we have here within the overall 1-hour impulse? We have here the internal liquidity high, or the liquidity highs on the high itself. Now what happens, we take the high out here of liquidity on the 0.5 fib. What happens, we take it out. What happens, the overall change of character, this is then your valid 1-hour supply zone. And then again, this crazy wick here is the rollover candle. So you would have removed your stop loss at the time, and then you would have been up at your peak around, let's say, 0.85%. And then obviously you're targeting a new lower low. So this is again a perfectly valid setup to be inside of. And obviously I'm still looking for this to further sell off in towards the downside as well. Now going into Euro GBP, a good question from Adrian. Euro GBP should head up higher. I'm still bullish on Euro GBP, with me being bearish on the pound overall. Well, a clear overall uptrend here on the daily time frame, creating higher highs and higher lows. What has now happened on the 4-hour time frame is again very, very clear. We have a break of structure here in towards the upside, meaning that we have an overall swing low, meaning that here we have an overall swing high. The markets then retrace into the 0.5 fib and well below it into an area of demand, right? So what do we have here? We have a drop, then we have a basing structure, and then we have a rally. This is what the most simple Instagram trading pages teach you, how to identify a supply demand zone. You look for a drop, a base, a rally, or you look for a rally, a base, rally, or you look for a drop, base, drop like this. And then this is going to, oh, sorry guys, got cold. So then what do we have here? We have the basing structure, which is then your area of demand or your area of supply. Now, within this area of demand, so we have the drop, we have the base, we have the rally. We look for the next rally in towards the upside. Now, if you see that market structure is bullish, together with the fact that you have an area of demand, and together with the fact that you're here on the monthly open, then it's obviously a no-brainer to then look for the overall upside continuation from that monthly open, right? So again, Euro GBP should be a position that you are then inside of. And again, when trading these kind of positions and seeing that you are inside an area of demand, you are simply looking to just execute. You don't need to wait for anything other than just enter on that monthly open with maybe a stop loss a little bit wider than the overall swing low, targeting obviously a new higher high, right? It's as simple as that, because when you are as low as this in the overall, let's say 4-hour swing leg, the market is a no-brainer to continue pushing up higher because you're at the monthly open. And if it breaks this low over here, then it should head down lower, but that would not fit the overall bias that we then have from a fundamental perspective, okay? So these are the kind of trades that you can just take purely based on a, let's say, market execution order, right? So I saw some questions about CAD Swiss as well. CAD Swiss is also a sell, guys. The Canadian dollar has been beating, or has been receiving a beating over today's and let's say the past 2 days. So the Canadian dollar is relatively weak. Why? Because Trump is still imposing tariffs on Canada, and more specifically on aluminum. And furthermore as well, Canada is weak because there is internal, let's say, political struggles going on, where Quebec again is talking about removing itself from Canada and becoming independent. Now, it's very unlikely that this is going to happen, but these internal struggles in Canada are causing an overall devaluation of the currency to a certain extent. So I'm bearish overall on the Canadian dollar based on political uncertainty and on those tariffs in relationship to the United States. Now, again, CAD Swiss is as bloody simple as NZD Swiss, where we have a clear bearish trend. Again, no rocket science at all. It is clearly bearish in towards the downside. Now, what does CAD Swiss always do when it starts to go and push in towards the lows? It grabs liquidity. Here, it grabbed liquidity. Here, for example, what I have exactly over here is it grabbed liquidity, and it's more clear on the 4-hour time frame, because what happened here is we grabbed liquidity here, we grabbed liquidity, and now again on the 4-hour time frame here, it grabbed overall liquidity. So what we're now looking for again is further downside on CAD Swiss, and we've been calling this already since last week. And we can clearly again see the monthly open indicator again pushing the markets down lower. Now, CAD Swiss in itself was also very similar to Euro GBP. When you have an overall swing leg which contains itself within, let's say, this high towards this low, it is as simple as identifying that here you have the liquidity high, and when you see that the markets start to reject that liquidity high here to the left, and even giving, for example, here a bearish change of character, you should just get into a sell with your stop loss well above the high, give it some space to breathe, and you should be targeting again a new ultimately lower low, or as simple as just targeting an overall 1 to 2 risk to reward with you targeting, for example, these equal lows that you have positioned over here. So yes, you should be, and again, no financial advice, my personal opinion, in a CAD Swiss short. That's why Rutger, for example, is in a CAD Swiss short, because we discussed that we are in bearish market structure. Within the bearish market structure, we identify that we have a significant liquidity high here right below the overall swing high. We identified that the swing high got taken out, or that the liquidity high got taken out, and that the market went from impulsive into corrective and manipulative, where we took out the first reaction and saw a clear market structure shift in towards the downside. Now, again, guys, you see this shit happen time and time again. What happens is that the markets shift market structure from this here being your demand zone, right? So you see the initial fake reactions to this now being your supply zone. Now, if you think that the market structure here is very unclear, or that the supply and demand is very unclear, here you have a break of structure up, here you have a break of structure down, meaning that this here is your impulse in towards the downside. Now, if it's still unclear, go to the 1-hour time frame. And what you will then identify is that this here is your swing high, this here is your swing low. Now again, within the overall impulse, identify bumps in the road. This here is a significant bump in the road. Bump in the road gets taken out. That is where you should be entering the market with, again, stop loss above the highs. So if you see the market, because I know a lot of people were shitting their pants when CAD Swiss was pushing in towards the highs on Friday after some good Canadian dollar news, because there was good CAD news on unemployment markets on Friday that caused this overall push up. This is good, guys, because how does the fucking market move? It moves in swings. The market doesn't go down in a straight line. No, what does the market do? It manipulates and tries to fuck with your brain. Sorry for the language, guys. I'm just being very honest. So what happens? Push up, push down, push up, market structure shift in towards the downside. Now, again, guys, what happens? The market retraces, and obviously, let's say you enter here at the top, right? And stop loss is somewhere over here. And you see the trade go into like 1.6% profit, right? Then what happens? The markets go back into drawdown. Like, it's fucking normal, and you should be happy, because this is just another opportunity to potentially take a trade, right? Because this here is the impulsive phase, and as long as the high of the impulsive phase is significant liquidity high with descending highs, so you should already be anticipating that the market is going to come and take out that high. So you should be, oh, fuck yeah, it's coming back to take the high. If it again gives the change of character, I'll just skill in. And again, you see the monthly open is also situated there. So then you just skill into the position, stop loss again above the highs, and now you're sitting in the fucking money, right? That's the same with Rutger and what he did. So it's as simple as that. And again, CAD Swiss should now continue pushing down lower, right? Because we are currently in what? We're currently in the impulsive phase. So again, there's no 100% certainty that it's going to head all the way back down in towards the lows. But as long as the market structure holds, it should, right? So now what's happening is, again, we're breaking market structure. So what can we expect? We can expect a pullback in the future. Now, what I'm looking at here from a 1-hour time frame perspective is, again, I don't really like what I'm seeing though, but here we have the impulse down, we had the pullback phase, and now again we're in the impulse down. So what I'm now waiting for is for reaccumulation to happen. So what could happen is maybe something like this. We retrace back up towards the 3 monthly open, take out this as internal liquidity, and then I'll look for the 4-hour change of character, and then again I'll get into a short. So this is how ultimately we expect. Mic is breaking. Yo. So it should be working again, guys. Everything should be good again. So this is ultimately what I expect, right? Okay, let me see. Everything should be working now again, okay? Everything should be working again. Okay, good. So it is not. Yeah, guys, just refresh the stream, yeah, if it's not. Okay, refresh if not good. Okay, so ultimately, what we now expect is, again, the market just to continue and to reaccumulate itself. So we just need to have the balls to hold, right? Because that's how trading is so difficult, because the markets don't move in a straight line towards your TP or towards your stop loss. What happened here on yen basket? Some strength. Let me go to dollar real quick. Yeah. All right, so USD-JPY is retracing, which is a very good thing. What I'm waiting for on USD-JPY ultimately is still a lot lower prices. I would love to see some lower prices on UJ. Now, the only reason why the yen or why USD-JPY is really retracing is because the dollar is currently dumping. What I'm waiting for in USD-JPY are deeper prices. Now, if UJ were to retrace down deeper and this overall pullback phase were to extend, I'd be very happy to buy from these equal lows, okay? So I'm waiting ultimately for these equal lows here to get hit. Once those equal lows get hit, that is when I'll be looking to scale in aggressively, okay? Until then, I'm not really trading it at all. AUD-USD. So AUD-USD is not really a pair that I'm looking actively at. I still expect higher prices. AUD-USD is one of those very simple ones where, I mean, it's not as hard. You just identify, here's the impulse. Within the impulse, we had a significant liquidity low get taken out. We've had a dump down, reaccumulation, push up, retest of that reaccumulation, and now again, you're expecting a new higher high to be formed. So ultimately, this should head up higher. Yeah, and it's a good trade to be inside of if you are already inside. I was favoring, to be honest, an NZD-USD long position. I talked about this one this morning. What happened here is that you liquidate here, and then here you had the 4-hour change of character. So obviously we're trading after the break of structure line. So when you look at an overall trend, right, we have a push down, a pullback, push down, pullback, push down, pullback. When do you expect the overall pullback to happen, right? So that's the overall orange phase, okay? So we're currently trading in the orange phase. So the orange phase is the phase that we're currently inside of over here. Where do we expect the orange phase to happen towards? Well, at least towards the overall, let's say, supply zone. And where's the overall supply zone? The overall supply zone is pretty much this over here, the buy before the sell. Obviously, if you look at, let's say, the impulsive phase is kind of like this green phase in towards the downside. Now, the goal of us trading, guys, is always to be positioned over here on this high and trade towards this low, right? Now, obviously, last time on NZD-USD, we traded from the overall 3 monthly open and from this internal liquidity high. From there, we took shorts and we confirmed those shorts with the 4-hour change of character over here. That's what caused NZD-USD to sell off. Now, obviously, you're trading after the break of structure line. So we expect the market to always at least retrace in towards the overall buy up for the sell down. So at least in towards buy up for the sell down before continuing lower. So it's still good to long at least until this overall line over here. So I'm still looking for further upside on NZD-USD. And I would still be looking for that to continue pushing up higher. By the way, guys, I've been talking about it a lot, but finally I can confirm that 99% certainty, the private group with private updates, guys, where you can all register for it, will be going live on Thursday. I'll be sharing some swing trades together with my team of traders. So if you want to join that, I'll be announcing it inside Discord. So make sure to be inside Discord. The link to the Discord server can be found as the pinned link here in the chat. Now, I know most of you are inside of that Discord server, but if you're not, make sure to join, because that is the only place where I will be announcing how to join that private group, okay? You're only going to have 24 hours to join, so make sure to check the server on Thursday. After that, I will not announce any information about it anymore. You will have 24 hours. Now, focusing on the rest, NZD USD again, some short-term upside still expected. So if it were to retrace now, it still would be a good potential long opportunity, at least back up towards the overall monthly open before from there again, obviously looking for some further short positions. Indeed, guys, don't forget to leave a like on the stream. So still looking for some further upside on NZD USD. For AUD USD, pretty much the same. Still looking for some further upside. EURUSD, I don't like to long that just because we're already inside the overall order flow, meaning that we are already inside of the overall, let's say, buy up for the strong sell down. So at any point in time, can the market obviously continue pushing down lower? Hence why I'm not really liking any EURUSD longs. GBPUSD is kind of like the same, though it still has some more room for further upside, as this is more kind of like the overall, let's say, buy up for the sell down. So for GU, I would also still say that there's some more upside possible. NZD USD though then is my favorite because the pound is extremely weak at the moment, and the NZD is a little bit more clear and more impulsive pair as opposed to that, and AUD USD as well. So if you are bearish on the dollar, right, and you want to capitalize on the fact that the dollar could still head down lower, then obviously when the dollar retraces into here and you still think that there's more potential for downside towards, for example, this low, then I would say, hey, keep an eye and focus on, for example, then an AU long or an NU long, for example, as opposed to an EU or GU long. USD CHF still has potential to head down lower towards the 3 monthly open. From there, I expect a bounce again. Keep this in mind, this demand zone. From there, I wouldn't be surprised if we do start to see a bounce, but not a pair that I'm currently focused on too much due to the Swiss, or excuse me, yeah, not a pair that I'm focused on too much, though it is the most bearish out of, let's say, USD CAD and USD yen at the moment, due to the yen and the Canadian dollar being a lot weaker than the Swiss franc in itself. For gold, guys, I am still bullish, still looking for more upside. I'm not looking for any shorts on gold at the moment. For gold, I do see that there is potential for liquidation very, very soon. So keep an eye on these lows over here, or keep an eye on this low over here. Preferably what I would see is still some more upside, and then, for example, a potential short-term short. Is my signal bad? Is my signal bad? Should be working. Leave a like. Everything should be working. So for gold, we're coming into a very interesting area for potential pullback. Obviously, we've seen a very overextended move up, right? So this is obviously what has been kind of like a 6% up nearly. Looking at this, I would say keep an eye on this high over here. That could definitely facilitate an overall retracement on gold to take out some liquidity. Any potential retracement would just be another opportunity to look for potential longs back in towards the highs, okay? So I would say for gold, wait for this high 41.61. That could facilitate a potential pullback, okay? So keep an eye on that. For the rest, guys, I mean, the best pairs at the moment are definitely kind of like an A Swiss further short position, if any skill-ins are provided, an NZD CHF short position, if any potential further skill-ins are provided until the overall swing low. CAD Swiss is obviously higher in the leg, so I like CAD Swiss as well. Maybe wait for this to redevelop, obviously after the break of structure, retracement, and then look for some more shorts from the 3 monthly open. GBP AUD also looks good for some further downside still. Still, there is potential to maybe use this as liquidity to then fuel the next leg down. So look, for example, at the 1 hour time from here, and you could say that this is like the impulse down, and that this here is just a liquidity high, and that we want to see actual tap into the yearly and then look for the sell-off next. So I still think that if GA does retrace up higher, that would be a nicer short position to then keep an eye on. Oil is relatively bullish because India is not importing any Russian oil anymore, causing global oil demand to rise, and oil prices to fly today. So oil is up over 1% today, if I'm not mistaken. It's currently situated at the monthly open. I'm looking for more upside on oil, if I'm very honest. I would like to see some more upside. though it's in a difficult spot because it's near the free monthly open. I don't really see any setups that much, but I like what I've seen here on the daily as we retrace into this daily demand zone. Now, this daily demand zone is from a change of character here. Change of character low, change of character high. Daily demand has the potential now to push us up higher. A lot of descending highs. So, yeah, I am looking for further upside there on US oil. Yeah, looking for further upside on US oil. Also, from a fundamental perspective, that makes sense. Though the higher time frame is, yeah, it's at a higher time frame area of support as well. So I would like to see a relived rally on oil to happen as well. Ethereum, I like for more longs. I'm looking at the weekly time frame, and what I see on the weekly is a overall bullish trend here, where we had a clear break of structure in towards the upside. We've retested the yearly open, retested the 0.5 fib, and we've grabbed internal liquidity. So I'm looking for some more upside on this in the near future again. Can you give the three best pairs with no common exposure? Euro USD. I mainly trade dollar pairs, but I would say Euro USD is a good one. Then I would be thinking about maybe a GBP. Now, yeah, Euro USD, Euro Yen, or GBP JPY, and maybe an NZD CHF. Pairs that rally or tend to trend a lot. Those are kind of like the pairs that you preferably want to be engaging with, obviously. What about USD CAD? USD CAD is still a good long to keep your eyes open on. You can see that USD CAD hasn't really dumped too much. It's just pretty much where it was on Monday morning. Overall, USD CAD has now taken a beating because dollar has pushed down lower so strongly. What you ultimately want to see now is dollar bottom out in the near future. So keep your eyes open. If we can see a dollar V-shaped reversal and then, let's say, the monthly high get broken, then look for a further long position on the demand zone that is then created. Otherwise, just wait for the lower change of characters to happen. Once price comes into this low here, I'll market execute some longs on USD CAD and some shorts on Euro USD, as that is kind of like the final liquidity low, to then look for potential further upside on that. Okay. For AUD CHF, should I target 0.52010? 52010. Yeah, so that's kind of like your immediate target if you're trading with the 1 hour. So let's say on the 1 hour time frame you took a setup here, then obviously you're targeting this immediate low. But let's say you're trading the 4 hour time frame, stop loss above the daily swing high, then obviously you can trade it all the way down back here. But ultimately you have to also look at Rucker. I don't know what the fuck the guy was doing, man. My ears were going like crazy, man. I told him to shut up. Let me see. No, he was doing work like with a bag, like I said, like what the fuck, man? Give me a second, man. Let's have a look. So, yeah, I mean, A Swiss clean, N Swiss clean. I mean, CAD Swiss still lagging behind, so I think CAD Swiss still has so much room to fall. Euro USD, Anan Mohammed, you're spamming the chat about Euro USD, brother. I already explained this 10 times. Euro USD currently is bullish, right on the immediate time frame. Look to follow the immediate order flow. Only if the order flow shifts, then you can look for a short, right? So yeah, this is the short that you want to take. Other than that, like, I mean, the thing is just going to push up higher, right? So again, a lot of people ask me about value, this and that. Like, demand's currently in control, demand zone. So you're just looking for further longs, right? As simple as that. Yeah, man, I'm tired, guys. I'm still sick, man. I'm still sick. I don't know what it is. I have a fucking bad fever, man. Euro NOK. Yeah, so Euro NOK wise, yearly open again, rejection. Guys, fuck me, man. Those yearly opens are so overpowered. I love it, man. I love it. Euro NOK again. Talked about this, I think, also in the service somewhere. Yearly open rejection. Again, clean as hell. Is there anything that you would put on in the next hour? Yeah, guys, I've been watching the markets, but to be honest, like the only position that I kind of like see for like a, if you want to be in a position just to make you guys happy, like you can just buy USD CAD with stop loss underneath this low, targeting a 1 to 2 risk to reward. So I'm looking for the next rally on USD CAD to start soon. I'm looking for another rally of around 250 pips. So I'm not advising. I'm not a financial advisor. But this is a position that I'm in myself. This USD CAD long. So yeah, that's a position that I am in myself. Yeah, happy to take it. If you want to use a smaller stop loss, then obviously just wait for the next liquidity low to get taken. This is not the optimal entry, obviously, as the liquidity is still resting here, or it could even head down here towards the 3 monthly open. But yeah, give it some time. What's the name of the indicator? You can use weekly, yearly, monthly opens by SBTNC. I have EURUCAD and GBPCAD longs. Yeah, nice. I mean, EURUCAD looks relatively good to push up higher as well. EURUCAD has been in a clear uptrend. It's also kind of like within a channel here. If you look at it like this, whatever. I was kind of like, I was trying to join a nice channel, but it's not as nice as I thought. Yeah, I mean, whatever. Kind of like this, I guess. I mean, it's trending upwards. That's what matters. It took out all of the lows here, and since then it's been rallying. I like this for some further upside, man. It's not like the cleanest pair out of all of them, but it is a nice pair to head up higher. Yeah, I think this has some potential to head up higher in the short term. GCAD is one of those things though that I just don't really like too much. All I can say though is yes, if you're speaking from it from a mechanical perspective, you're kind of like looking at this and you have some internal liquidity here. It's rejecting the monthly open. It's just that the pound is so weak. So yeah, just that the pound is so weak. It's not a pair that I really love. Like pairs that I then prefer, guys, because again, I get a lot of questions about like, but then what do you prefer? Like, I just simply look what is strong, what is weak, what is trending. G Swiss is a clear trend, right? Like G Swiss is a clear trend. If you look at G Swiss here on the 4 hour, and then you look at GCAD here on the 4 hour, like, and then and then you ask me like, what would you then trade? Like, GCAD is like, it's like more stuck in a way. Do you understand what I mean? Like sometimes I feel like I'm just talking Chinese, but like it's kind of like stuck. Whereas G Swiss, it just goes. You see, it just goes. So when you see that, for example, here, again, right? So this is your break of structure. Let's say this. Let's just consider this the over impulse down. Here you take out the liquidity high, right? So you liquidate the highs. Even here you still liquidated the high, or you tap the high. Then you see the clear 4 hour change of character. Like this is a nice potential short to take because the trend is clearly in towards the downside. So I prefer to be kind of like in these positions as opposed to like a GCAD. But that's just me. Like, why would I buy GCAD if the thing just dumped, if it just dumped 600 pips? Whereas, and like with a bearish rally, whilst G Swiss has been like in a bearish rally like forever. Like just follow this, right? Follow the trend. Like the same for USD CAD. Like, why am I looking for more buys on USD CAD? Because the thing is trending, right? And you want to get into a trending market, right? Like here on the short term as well, USD CAD has been trending upwards since what, last 140 days. It doesn't need to be as difficult as we always kind of like tend to think. Yeah, so GJ is obviously bullish as well. I'm not really looking to short this. I think this is also very clear here on the daily. It's still bullish. The yen is still weak. The thing is, like, why don't trade GJ at the moment is because GJ, you're like trading two weak pairs against each other. The pound is weak and the yen is weak, but it still looks good for more upside. Obviously, demand here has been in control. We have kind of like 3 descending highs here, so some nice trendline liquidity to target. We're seeing on the monthly open, so I would look for some more upside. 4 hour time frame wise, we're not in the best situation, I would say. So it's not really too clean at the moment, but I'm favoring a next upside push. Like, sometimes you just have those pairs that are just clean, right? Like if you look at Euro Yen, for example, Euro Yen was really clean. like if you look at euro yen here on the 4-hour time frame, this is what I mean with like a clear trending pair, right? This is what you want to trade. This is why I love like a euro yen, because one, the trend is extremely clear. It's uptrend. So don't even talk to me about fucking selling this thing. Like, don't even talk to me about selling it. I'm not mad, but it sounded mad. But I remember like some of us were talking about Fab back in the days here in the summer in July. Like, should I sell here, euro yen? Like, the thing is trending upwards, my friend. The thing is trending upwards. So why the fuck should we try and call the top? We're just trading with the overall trend upwards, right? We're just creating higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. So the same as Swiss yen, man, 100%. Like, again, looking here at euro yen, all I'm identifying is the overall impulse up, and here, impulse up, right? Impulse up. Let me just get that. So euro yen here, impulse up, internal liquidity low, liquidity gets taken, and the thing skyrockets up higher. Again, within the overall impulse up, here we have liquidity low, here we have liquidity low. Okay, so it comes for this second low here. After the low gets taken, then change of character happens. Like, these setups, they happen like here. This setup here happens 17th of October. Then the next setup happens 4th of November. So you wait here, like within the space of like 3 weeks, you get 2 amazing setups. Yeah, maybe you have to wait 2 weeks, but then at least you don't trade like this stupid long up. It just saves so much money if you don't trade every single setup and you just wait for those cleaner setups. So somebody was asking here, so on average, how many trades you take and what's your average monthly gain in props? So on average, a month, I gain around only 3% on props. And I take, I would say, around, let's say, 8 trades max. Max. And then the win rate and the probability of those trades playing out is so much higher because I just wait for the right setup. So the same here on euro yen, like in order to pass a profit challenge or to get a payout, I wait for the setup here, I wait for the setup here. These are the only trades that I take. I don't try and long it like 20 times. Said America, gold, look, like, I'm not even going to look. If you spam the chat, we have another spammer, man. Oh my God. CAD Swiss, I discussed many times, alpha. So yeah, I mean, euro yen, obviously now euro yen is where, guys? Euro yen is near the break of structure line. It's in the impulsive phase. So euro yen is like in a position now where you're kind of like nearing the end of the impulse. So yeah, what's the use of still kind of like trying to get into positions, right? Because if you look at where euro yen is trading or where you want to be in the impulse, right? But when you take out the break of structure line over here, that's when you start seeing a pullback. Now, you want to get in over here at the beginning of the next impulsive phase up. So if you're not in euro yen at the moment, you've obviously missed this entry. You've missed this entry here. So here, there's not really an entry to take anymore because the distance towards the break of structure line is another 40 pips. But yeah, where are you going to place your stop loss? So now, again, where should you, or what pairs should you then be in? An AUD CHF. CAD CHF, NZD CHF, because these pairs are what? These pairs are in their impulsive phase, right? So where's the break of structure line here on the 4 hour? Over here. So there's still this entire room to gain, right? Another, what? Minus 2.7%, 140 pips. Obviously, for 140 pips for Swiss pairs, a lot. So again, like, I wish I could make it very sexy and I could be some kind of like 16-year-old idiot trying to trade the 1 minute time frame and making everybody's dopamine like go to the roof. But it's really as simple as just pressing here the execute button, stop loss here, and just waiting for 2 weeks, and then you pass a prop firm challenge and you get a 4 or 5k payout. That's how simple it is, and that's realistic, and that's how you can actually then become a full-time trader and make an income from it, instead of blowing 20 accounts, you know? Yeah, GN. So GN, GN. Yeah, I mean, GN was nice. It sold off again. To be very honest, I haven't really been looking at shorts. So I see it more like here, break a structure up, right? Swing high or swing low, swing high. So within the overall impulse up, I identify specific liquidity lows like this one here. This low here caused the next push up. So I'm more looking for new longs on GN once it retraces deeper again, and then maybe some more upside again. So I mean, yeah, you could take some more shorts, because obviously here you get the 4-hour change of character high, change of character low break, and it continues. So yeah, obviously I don't expect like this to kind of like do like this. Well, probably because I'm drawing it in now and I'm saying that I don't expect that it's suddenly going to happen from the free monthly open, but you would at least kind of like look for these lows to get taken. So yeah, I mean, short term, still some more downside before any further longs. Euro NZD, Euro NZD is still bullish as hell. Again, somebody asked me today, can I sell Euro NZD? I said, give me what you're smoking, because why in the name of whatever would you sell this? You need to be on a, you need to really be, yeah, you have to be really crazy to try and sell this, with all respect, guys. Euro NZD is bullish as hell. So, I mean, for Euro NZD, obviously I expect a short-term downside push still. We took out some minor liquidity here. I would love, obviously, to see this lows taken. And then from here, that's when I want to be looking for longs from the free monthly open. Now, again, Fabio, can we then short Euro NZD towards there? Yes, be my guest. I personally don't like taking those kind of setups. I just prefer to kind of like go long from the free monthly open like this. Because this is the high probability setup, man. Like, again, like here we have the breaker structure up. Here we have the breaker structure up. This here is the swing low. This here is the swing high. But then why is 95% of the world unprofitable? Because then they try and get this set up with the stop loss here, and then the thing goes up, and then it manipulates you out, and then it goes up, and then it takes the high, and then it goes down again, and then it goes up, down, and then it goes here, and then the real move up starts. And then you try to sell here, you try to sell here, and then you take 2 losses, and then you're traumatized, and then you don't even look at a Euro NZD anymore, and then you see Euro NZD suddenly go to the free monthly open, take the liquidity low, and then fly to the fucking moon, and then you're asking me, Fabio, why am I unprofitable? Like, it's kind of like that, you know, like 1 + 1 is 2. So that's why I always say I'm waiting for this setup only, and call me when it plays out or when it comes. As simple as that, right? And sorry guys if I'm very honest and very direct, and maybe if I'm a little bit, if I sound not very friendly. I promise I am very friendly. I'm a very nice guy. At least I think I am. But I just yeah, with all the years on YouTube, I've seen thousands, tens of thousands of people come and go. And there's one way to become a profitable trader. That is identify an impulse, identify liquidation. So for example, here within the impulse liquidation of the low, and then just wait, and then just enter there, right? Enter here, stop loss underneath the low, target a new higher high, and just target a 1 to 2.5, and then you make money. Like, that's how you make money trading. You don't make money trading trying to catch the top, the bottom, the top, the bottom, the top, the bottom, the top, the bottom. Right? So again, I recorded a day today. I recorded a video today of me doing a 1.5K payout on the Trading Pit account. So that video should be live this week. And I also recorded like a 30-minute backtesting video on USD CAD. And I'm doing like a series of backtesting videos on the 4-hour time frame for you guys, which I'm going to be dropping on YouTube as well. So that's going to be dropping soon. But yeah, for Euro NZD, wait for this long to happen. Euro USD, please. Euro USD. Like, what I'll do with Euro USD, I'm just going to be very honest with you guys. Like, this is just a market like a buy, a sell limit I'll probably set. Seeing what happens, I'll just sell on this liquidity high and then look to short it. Or I'll wait for this, and then once supply is created, I'll get into a sell. To be honest, for the rest, I'm just chilling. I have my funded accounts ready to strike, and then when it comes, I'll strike big, I'll strike hard, and I'll make a ton of money altogether with you guys, because I'm going to let you know when I'll get that short. I'm just waiting for it to happen. Like, you know, I'm in the bushes, ready, and I'll execute when the market comes to me. Yeah, I don't fake results, right? I'm not gonna be here saying every single day I'm making this, I'm making that. Like, I haven't made any trades in the past like week, so I'm just chilling and waiting for the right trade, right? Like, obviously USD CAD with a very wide stop loss, but doesn't really count. But yeah, that's why I'm gonna announce Thursday, why you can kind of like check in with me and see what I'm doing. What is your risk model for prop challenges and broker live capital? So pretty much 2% on. It's gonna be on Thursday. Be water. Set it down like a dog. Yeah, sit down, boy. Woof woof. Fabio, when the ops group stars. Not sure what that means, Felipe. So yeah, the risk model is 2% on challenges, 1% on live capital, and then on personal capital, you take around 3 to 5% risk per trade. XAG, yeah, what can I say about XAG? Buy. Buy. It's a buy. I think we talked about this already from the free monthly open at the time when we liquidated these lows. Yeah, I mean, it's a buy. Any retracement is just another opportunity to long it. I'm expecting new higher highs, especially with the stimulus check, which works inflationary. So I'm looking for further longs. Yeah, I'm looking for further longs, but we need to see a retracement. So yeah, looking for further longs, but need to see a retracement / liquidation. How account you manage? I use Traders Connect to manage all the different accounts. I have like a master account, and then I have slave accounts, and then from the master account I copy the trades towards my slave accounts, and within Traders Connect I can turn off certain accounts. Can we do US 100 for a change? Yes, Jamie, Damon. I'm in a sell for EURUSD. What is stop loss? I don't know why you're in a sell and why you're asking me for the stop loss, because I didn't tell you to sell it. US 100 or US 500. I mean, I'm bullish on stocks. Again, look where US 500 flew from the free monthly open again. I'm bullish. I'm looking for more longs. I expect us to head up higher. We're in the impulsive phase. We were traced into discount pricing in towards the free monthly open, and we have seen a daily change of character. So obviously, yeah, I mean, we're looking for more upside on US 500. We're looking for more upside on US 30. We're looking for upside on the stock market, guys. I am a buyer of stocks. NAS 100 free monthly open. Yeah, no, I'm a buyer of stocks. I'm looking for more upside. As simple as that. Make a YouTube content of how to scale in prop firms and how to manage it, bro. Yeah, we'll do. What does scaling mean? Just taking an additional position on an existing trade that you might be in. Guys, thanks a lot. I have to rest. I speak to you all soon. I'm going to rest. And thanks for joining as always. Wish you all a fantastic day. And guys, have an amazing. Sorry, Jamie. After an hour of streaming, I'm relatively dead. But I know you're this JP Morgan CEO. Guys, thanks a lot. Appreciate you taking the time to be here. Don't forget to leave a like. You know what I'm waiting for. You know the trades that I'm on. And just waiting for it to play out. Let's make some money soon. You know what happens when you're patient like me. You make money. Because when the market comes to me, that's when I print a shit ton of money. So let's be patient. Let's wait for the right setups. And when the setups are there, that's when you'll see everybody say GUTP hit, EUTP hit, USD CAD TP hit. We just need to be patient. So yeah, guys, thanks again. More updates coming inside Discord. Make sure to join. Again, Thursday is when I'm going to be announcing more. Maybe I'll announce it here on stream as well on Thursday. So be there, 2:30 Central Eastern Time. Guys, wish you all a fantastic afternoon. And